I shouldn't really say this, but it's how I feel. It's a massive canvas. This is day one, I just want this. You can't. Day two, you don't like it anymore. There's new blood in this game, and there's a new way of doing it. Nobody wants to lose their money, and art is expensive.
Today I'm in London in the neighborhood of Hackney. I'm meeting Ochuko Ojiri, director of Ram Gallery, to hear his story and discuss the new generation of gallerists, artists and art collectors.
Hello, we're at Ram Gallery.
Wow! Hello, I'm Ochuko Ojiri. I'm the gallery director here at Ram. How did I get into art? Yeah, really, we have a shop down the road. It's called Pelicans and Parrots. It's a beautiful shop, a vintage shop. I own it with my partner, Juliet. Both of us are obsessed with design and form and function. The route into the art was, I guess, really to do with prints and then kind of moving on into paintings and into sculpture.
And what was your first print, if you remember?
My first print, Morons, Banksy. I just love the print, I love the sentiment, you know. I consider myself to be one of the new generation of gallerists and gallery directors. I understand the collector, feeling, the intention and the meaning and how difficult it is to acquire a lot of these works. And also I want to give new collectors and people that are new to the market, I want to give them a chance. Not all galleries will do that. The art world has been a very old money environment, and I think people like you and people like me are changing that, and I can see that within the collectors, and I think that's very, very important, that there's new blood in this game and there's a new way of doing it. You can sell an edition like Nina Chanel Abney. People, why you got this toy, why you should be in museums, you should be... I think that art should be accessible to people.
Besides making new people feel welcome, Ram Gallery is in the heart of Hackney and has a mission to serve its community and welcome a diverse range of emerging artists.
Art is more than a financial transaction. It's culture and it's meaning. When we had our show, The Pearl, and it meant a lot to me because it had a lot of black artists and it really coincided with the whole BLM movement. And we had works by Simphiwe here, Marcus Brutus, Bianca was in the show, Esiri, incredible. We had Sara Birns in that show as well, Emilio Villalba in there, with the eyes, the soul. That's everything to me. And London, historically, is very important to the world art scene, but there's very few galleries that show the works that we show. So I'm amazed that nobody would have Lauren's Sabi and Showdown Park. To me, it's mind-blowing.
Back in the day, there used to be the young British artist. I asked Ochuko, now who should we be keeping our eyes on?
So we've got people like Nigel Howlett, Felix Treadwell, he's another great London artist. Max Rumble, there's loads of them out there. Just got to find galleries that will show them. I'm here, come here.
What is your special touch?
It's really difficult. It doesn't really make sense really how I do it. I have to love the person. I think it almost begins there. Baldur, I'm in love with Baldur. I probably talk or text every day. You know, as a modern day artist, I find it incredible that he has that depth of soul within his work, as well as being quite accessible. So he's going to do prints, he's doing sculpture, but his actual core practice, for me, should be supported by institutions, superb artists. Nigel Howlett, who's behind us here, is another one. Phenomenal person. Sean Gannon, great person. You know, that super flat style, I don't really know anyone that is really doing that. His style's so simple and it has to be so sharp and so perfect. And I represent all three of those guys. They've all got meaning to their practice, and I think that's very attractive, and that will give it longevity. This show that we've got at the moment is called Quixotic, and I guess it's to do with sort of romantic notions really, and them being unattainable and people not really believing your romance and your journey. This one for me I really love because she is almost like in this castle and looking out at what can be and what people she can save and what adventures she can have. I love this moon so bright, and I love the textures like flock, like velvety. The way that he uses the charcoal on the paper is delicious. And Lauren's again, his is like literal dreamlike. Loads of texture and these lovely kind of little peaks of golden yellows poking through. And I love this reflection. Wonderful artist. There's so much in this painting for me. I think the red shoes remind me of Wizard of Oz. The title of the work is Take You to the Good Places. So the idea that these shoes have their own energy and their own personality, which they do. And the night it's undiscovered, and these shoes are going to be an integral part of them. For them, you take me. Going forward, I'd love the gallery to represent society. So I want to have black artists, I want to have female artists, I want to have a big widespread of what I see in Hackney.
I asked Ochuko what he thought is the most difficult part about opening a gallery.
Selling yourself. The most difficult point is getting these great artists to show with you, especially international artists, which is what I would say we do here. There's a lot of trust involved. You're going to send your work to who? To where? What have you done? You're going to show the work. What collectors are you going to place the works with? So there's a lot from the artist's side. And in the very early days, it's not been long, it's been 1 year, but the first couple of shows, finding your voice as a gallery, finding what's unique, and having the confidence to curate your own shows. But it's incredibly competitive. And there's artists now that I absolutely love, and then I'll see that dreaded Instagram post or email is now represented by. But there's more than enough to go around, and there's a lot of undiscovered talent, and there's a lot of amazing artists graduating.
So many new talents are emerging and accessible on social media. For young collectors, building your own taste is a process in which you need to dedicate time and effort.
I feel like connoisseurship in art has gone. So I think it's very important to trust yourself and wait, go to shows, talk to galleries, talk to artists, talk to other collectors, read books, look at the history of art.
Yeah, no, that's true. Sometimes I feel as well like when there's something I don't like but everyone likes it, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm too narrow-minded, have to just maybe it's just gonna take a bit of time for me to like this.
To me, it's like On the Corner by Miles Davis. I had that record, it took me maybe 30 years to love the record. Now it's one of my favourite albums of all time, and it will be with me forever. These things that need a little bit more work, they stay with you, they're in your consciousness. It's to do with talking to the artist, understanding their practice and the reason that they've made this work. It makes it so valid and will make you want to own it.
When you think of RTC, when you chat with him and you see him and you see his artwork, it's like, oh my god, that's him.
Ryan is his work more than anyone I've ever known. Sean Gannon is the same. Ryan's darkly twisted sort of sense of humour is so much him, yeah. My favourite work, I've got a work of his at home, and it's a pyramid, and it's almost like a Betty Boo character, and it's a bathroom, it's just right outside our bathroom. And the name of the work is Success, and it's just so subversive and modern and contemporary at the same time. It's all kind of off and wrong and so right, and that's what I love about his work.
When you get into any industry, it comes with learning how the game is played, and mistakes are part of the process. Art collecting is no exception to the rule.
We've only recently started to explore editions, so we've just had an edition of Baldur, which was very, very difficult. There's 80 of a print, and we've got 400 people wanting to buy it. I think as a new collector, don't get caught into the hype. I think a real turn off for me is when I have 100 people ask about one artist. If I ask the collector, what do you like about the artist, they can't say.
Being part of a community of collectors is a great way to start. However, you still need to practice self-awareness and know your own bias to strive in building your personal taste and a collection that will make you happy in the long term.
Nobody wants to lose their money, and art is expensive, so I understand the nervous feeling and going with a group of people telling you this one is good, this one is good, but it doesn't always work. You have to make mistakes. You have to have those works that you bought with your ear that you now hate and they're hung on your wall. Start slow. Don't just go, okay, I'm just gonna buy this massive canvas. This is day one, I just want this. You can't. Day two, you don't like it anymore. I shouldn't really say this, but it's how I feel. You can buy something that you love, and it can also be a fantastic financial investment. That's the truth.
Knowing what you want and having the money is not enough to ensure you get access to a piece in the primary market. Building a network and relationship is what is going to get you in. Now, how can you get there?
It's not like any other type of placement of products. You know, it's so personal. So it really has to find the right home. Every single work that I've ever placed with a collector, I know that collector. I know that work's in the collection. I know they're going to hold that work. It can be very difficult and dangerous for a young artist if you place the work wrong and that work comes to auction. It can really affect their career. And if there's huge demand, you can only place a certain amount. So there is a temptation for a collector to put that in auction because the demand is high. Once that's gone into auction, if that does extremely well, say that's 5 times what the primary price would be, primary meaning the first sale, everybody that owns that work is under a lot of pressure to think, oh, okay, I want 5 times my money.
Starts the circle of people wanting to sell it.
People speculating and selling the work, and people accessing the work primary to sell it. That's not good for a long-term career. The art needs to be held, needs to be cherished, needs to be loved and appreciated.
Now, what's next for Rem Gallery?
We've got a print by an artist called Levochkin. She's a phenomenal London artist, and a print coming out by Bianca. We've got Molly Greene, and then we've got Austin Harris, we've got Gosha, we've got Aaron, we've got Baldur solo. We've got a lot. We've got some really great plans. So I'm really looking forward to 2020.
Thank you.
That's brilliant. Thank you.
As always, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification. See you next time. Bye.